Before we get into it, I just want to talk about audible.com because I love it. I do audiobooks all the time when I'm driving around LA. It's how I love to, it's my preferred way to get books in, frankly. Specifically, I want to talk to you about Neil Gaiman's The Sandman. It's coming to Audible July 15th. Now, I've put off reading this graphic novel and this series of novels because, well, I just got a lot going on. But I'm going to get it. It's in my pre-order list right now. You should think about it. If you've never used Audible, you get a free book, and you can go to our website and click the link and use that to get your free book. We do get a little on the back end, and we appreciate you for the support. So, Neil Gaiman, I would also say Norse mythology. Really good book. The Audible book is actually read by Neil himself. I really appreciate how he puts his personality into the writing. A little bit funny, some new stories or new twists on stories from the Norse world that my fantasy nerd self likes.
Welcome to the More in Common podcast. This is a place where we explore the fact that we have more in common than that which divides us by anchoring humanity in compassionate conversation. I'm Juan Rivera. I'm a father, an entrepreneur, a writer, and an avid listener, and I'm happy to introduce today's show. Let's check on some reviews. Our latest comes from Donnie Megan, an amazing guest from Season 2 of 2020. Donnie says, Keith has been a friend for many years. It's amazing to see the sort of man that he's become and the company that he keeps. Ronnie hits with some great questions, really gets you thinking. And keep this going. We need these conversations. Now remember, you can find all things More in Common at moreincommonpod.com. There are episodes, merchandise, blogs, and more. Of course, if you like what you hear, give them a like in your favorite podcast app, leave a review. It helps promote this show and gets more ears on these amazing conversations. Even better, if you leave a review, we will try to read it on a future show and share. On today's episode, as part of 2020, A Decade Possible, this is Season 3, A Process. Today, the guys are with Omar Alberto. Omar is a preeminent agent for models based in LA with interesting stories and a great story himself. In this conversation, they talk about a lot of things. How he got started as a male modeling agent, finding comfort in his own identity, and how he celebrates life and lives it to the fullest. Enjoy today's amazing conversation with Omar.
And he's like, dude, if we gotta get into this world, like, you gotta, like, have a clear vision of who people are. And that's how far back I learned about acceptance. Accept people for who they are. Love people. What that night introduced me to variety. Seeing things for what they are, accepting people for who they are. What they do has nothing to do with what I'm about or my belief.
Welcome back to the show. Today we are with Omar Alberto. Welcome to the show, Omar. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. This is cool.
Yeah. So Omar is, first and foremost, as you get to know him, a loving father who cares deeply about his son and being a dad. He is an avid hiker and loves swimming in 35-degree water. From there, he is the Los Angeles-based agent for the fashion industry who has specialized in representing ethnically diverse male models. He currently owns and runs Just Omar, a modeling agency and branding company in Southern California. Omar is known for finding new talents and often credited with originally introducing real people into the U.S. fashion market. During the last 3 decades, his men have appeared in almost every prestigious international fashion magazine, including L'Uomo Vogue, GQ, Arena Magazine, and Esquire, and have appeared in campaigns for Ralph Lauren, Versace, Gucci, Armani, and Dolce & Gabbana. Through the years, he has introduced to acting, via modeling, the actors Jimon Honsu, Antonio Sabato Jr., and Tyrese Gibson, the star of the Fast and the Furious franchise films. And in recent years, Omar has also begun getting more involved in TV and film production. In 2013, he and Brian Lewis introduced an independent romantic drama film entitled Things Never Said for Ohio Street Pictures. We're really excited to have you here, Omar. Thanks for joining
Thank you
us.
for having me, guys. Thank you. That was a
Yeah.
quick introduction. That was good.
Thanks. Someone else wrote it. I just put it together. But the big thing that's important is
Hey.
really capturing. One thing that a lot of people don't is your passion for being a dad. So, I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that because you've got two fellow
Sure.
passionate fathers with you. But I want to start it off with, and you kind of alluded to this at the beginning before we started getting into the discussion. Your bio does say you represent ethnically diverse male models across the world. Now, was that by design? And you don't just represent males?
It's a great question. I believe that the reason why I got that tag is because when I came to Los Angeles in 1985, I worked for a company called East West. And the industry at the time was pretty much blonde, blue-eyed, all-American boys, beefy, cut up. And, here comes this guy, Omar, into town. And my first 6 months in this town working at this company, East West, I did not do well. I was not well accepted in this town. By the way, I hated this place. I wanted to get out of here. I
And
wanted
this
to
place
get
is
back to New York.
Hollywood for those listening. Yeah.
I just did not enjoy being in Hollywood. I'm like, I got to get back to New York. And this is so, so Hollywood, which I'll get into that later on. Here it is, 30, 40 years later. But I wasn't successful and I was going to get fired. And here we go. A famous night changed my life in LA. I was out with my mates, bunch of my friends. We had gone to our first Hollywood party. It was a Friday night. And literally I was going back to New York Wednesday. I'm just gonna tell these guys Monday that, hey guys, I'm out. It's not happening for me. My name is Omar. I have this crazy voice. I have this crazy accent. I'm calling people. Remember, back in the days, you call people. So here I am calling people.
Wait,
Hi,
what?
this
What
is
is that?
Omar. Exactly. I'm calling people. Hi, this is Omar. I work for this company. I have this great guy I want you to see, man. I think you'll like him. We don't work with your agency. Send us a package. Click.
Uh-huh.
So I'm doing horrible. I think I must have booked $6,000 worth of business in 6 months. That's supposed to do that per hour, per day, whatever. Anyway,
Right.
I went out with my mate, home Hollywood party, and I see my first time seeing Hollywood paparazzi at this party. They're taking pictures of some girl. I don't know. Yes, they're just taking pictures. And me and my boys is just, we just acting fool. We taking out the girls. We doing our thing. And you'll hear later who my crew was at the time. I mean, funny enough, most of them are very famous right now. At the time, we had just all came in from New York. And here we are out, and this girl kind of pops her head out of the paparazzi scene and looks at me. And I go, oh, shit, it's Tiana, who we used to live at Studio 54. I met her at 6 in the morning at Studio 54. And at this point, when I see her, she's huge. She's the girl in the Michael Jackson video, The Way You Make Me Feel.
Mhm.
One of the most iconic videos when he's walking behind her and he's blown up. There's
Yep.
rumors of her and Michael are dating. And she sees me, she's like, oh, what? I'm like, oh my God, Tiana. We see each other, we hug. And a photographer comes and goes, hey, man, can I do a picture of you guys? And yeah, of course. Here it is. We do that today, but this was 1987, and I'm taking a picture with this girl. And the picture comes out in the papers a day, 2 days, I don't know, later, I guess, probably the next day. And I go to work Monday. I haven't said I'm leaving yet. Literally, it's 10 in the morning. Reception says, Omar line 2, Herb Ritz. I'm like, all right, which one of my asshole models is trying to fuck with me? Because Herb Ritz is not. This is the biggest photographer in the world, the most iconic photographer in the world. And yeah, he's calling my wife. So I pick up the phone and I say, yeah, which one of you guys want to play with me this morning? Because I'm not in the mood. Trying, Omar, this is Herb. This is good. This is good. Yeah, no, this is Herb. And I just saw your picture in the papers, and I've seen you around town with a couple of your models, and I think you have a great taste. And there's a guy I like to send to you. I don't think anybody in LA gets him, and I love this guy. I work with him all the time. And his name is Tony Ward, who still today, Tony will be mentioned in my book because I think I have the rights to do a book on the whole history of male models. Tony Ward, to me, is top 10 in the world ever. Iconic. Here he is at 50 something years old. He still kills it. And Tony was 5'10, if anything, 5'11. So, male models are 6 feet and over.
Totally.
He was
I'm out.
kind of Greek looking, big nose, but rip, and kind of a cool look,
Yeah.
He wasn't what the industry was having at all. I mean, I'm not saying the industry was very blonde hair, blue eyes, dark hair, handsome guys. Everybody looks like a bloody quarterback. I have a joke that till this day is still stands in the modeling industry. We call him Chuck. I used to call all those guys Chuck. Everybody looked like their name was Chuck. Like, are you a quarterback? So I'm alluding something with this. So here it is. He tells me he wants to send me this kid, and he sends me this kid, Tony Ward, and of course I tell him, wow, it's a great kid. This is a game changer now, guys. I mean, I just got a call from Herb Richards telling me he loves my style, he loves my guys. And then I'm thinking, what is he talking about? None of those guys that I hang out with are models. These are my boys. Chris
So he just-
Brancato was
He just saw your crew and assumed that they were your models.
Yeah. None of these guys are models except for Billy Worth. Billy Worth was the gentleman who changed my life to become a male model agent. I'll get to that later. Billy Worth is the first male model I ever represented in my career. Till this day, I was a Billy Saturday. He's one of my best. He's family. He's not a brother to me. He's family. It's like my heart. And Billy was the star of the movie. Remember the iconic movie Lost Boys?
Yeah.
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 I love Lost
Oh,
Boys.
yeah.
Okay, Billy's the one with the long hair. It's
Yeah.
him, Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland. Anyway, Billy was the jet black hair, long one.
Oh yeah.
Just got a
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
Billy Ward, Paul Fisher, my old partner in business. Paulie looked like Bruce Willis with hair, younger, and he had a rap, And let's say who else? Possibly, I don't know if Kevin was with us, Kevin Dillon. Chris Brancato. Chris Brancato is one of my dearest friends, the creator of Narcos. He has right now Godfather of Harlem. These are all my buddies. We all know each other from New York.
Yeah.
We all played ball in New York together. So it's always a crew of us. Jesus, who else would be hanging with us at that time? I try to remember who was with me that particular evening, but it was a bunch of my boys. Anyway, so Herb Ritz took a liking to me and changed the whole game for me.
Wow.
Because
The day that you were gonna walk in and say I'm out.
Herb Ritz gave me so much, guys, and we'll get into that when it comes to the modeling industry, the industry of making models, the industry of making iconic models, the industry of creating images, I take it to core. There are very few agents that have had that passion. And I can name a bunch of them that I happen to love. They possibly from my era, they don't exist anymore. A couple of them are still around. They're pretty much more laid back, running their companies or not as active as they used to be. Something hit me early this weekend. And it's the fact that here I am, 62 years of age, and there's nothing, and I just realized this week, there's nothing I do today that I didn't do when I was in my 20s. I've never really have changed my life or my lifestyle. I like what I do. I'm never really, I think the only change I ever had in my life was two major ones. When my son was born, and that affected me, and when my mother traveled in 1999, that was a game changer because I used to say to my mother, I don't ever want to be here without you. She used to say,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you will. Trust me, you are going to be. Because, and now I get it, the love she has for me, the love I have for my son. I understand why she went all out for me, no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are two things that have possibly impacted me that gave a change in my life. But other than that, I've always been the same person, same guy,
So
same lifestyle.
let's get into that a little. Like so we got to
Do you
LA.
mind if we could close the loop though? Because
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
curious to so Herb introduced you,
Yeah.
right,
To
to
this
a
male model,
non-conforming model, and that
Yes.
kind of led to the ethnically diverse. Is it
Exactly.
like a
What
non-traditional?
happened-
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. This is very interesting because, and I'm so sorry because my stories are so deep because I like to give a very
Yeah.
visual.
No, it's good.
But when I took on Tony and things started, I stayed in LA, by the way, because yes, I said I just got caught by Herb Ritz. I
Yeah.
could now really, truly
You can't
grow
leave.
up in this town. I mean, sorry, globally, which is another thing I don't enjoy about my bio when it speaks about LA agent. I speak four
You're a
languages.
global agent. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then my campaigns, I get 25% of my success in the print industry came out of LA. Hello, no,
Yeah.
globally.
Yeah.
You do global work when you're working with global iconic
Yeah.
photographers. It's just that simple.
You're just
No,
based in LA. That's where
it's
home is.
well,
Yeah.
I was based in LA, and then I opened New York, and then I had Miami. It was New York, LA, Miami. That was all through the 90s,
Yeah.
like late 80s, all 90s. I was tri-coastal, I guess you call it. I started when Herb started really calling me, and I started, taking guys into Herb, and he started shooting them. Other photographers, I guess, and through the magazines, saw the difference in what was happening. But here comes another game changer. This is literally 4 months after the incident with Herb. Here it is again. And this is a very important thing that I'm going to get into, very intricate how that happened in my life. Here I am at a nightclub again. And I am with my crew. I mean, this time I'm with a deep crew. Okay. And, I'm doing my thing. I go to work Monday, and a woman knocks on my door. This is now I have Omar's Men. I left my old company. I opened up with my partner at the time, Paul Fisher, and we opened It Models, Omar's Men. It Models will be women's, Omar's Men is men. And we were downtown, 900 East First Street, downtown. That doesn't exist. A model agency downtown. This is when downtown was hood. Okay, we're in the hood in a loft, in a 1-bedroom loft, ground floor, 1 bedroom in the back. It has 2 other rooms that were open. We had a punching bag in one room, and another room we had like a couch in there. It was one phone, by the way, one phone with one line, and we're trying to run a company. And this woman comes in knocking on a Monday. I don't remember what day it was. She has Christmas. And she knocks on my door, and as soon as she opens the door, she gets to see me. I'm on my desk. I used to have a big Bob Marley Rasta poster behind me that says freedom. And she walks in, hi, my name is Janine Stein, and I'm a writer for the LA Times. And I'm looking for Omar's Men. And I'm like, this is it, lady. Are you Omar? I said, yeah, I'm Omar. She goes, I go, you're messing with me. She said, no, I really want to do a feature on you. You're like the man in town. Everyone is talking about your agency and you. And I'm like, wow, okay. So she sits there, and we have the most amazing time, this woman and I. And she was brilliant, brilliant. And it was so funny because she was in crutches. And I'm like, are you in pain? And she's like, no, I'm okay. I'm enjoying this so much. So we did this interview. So that newspaper article blew me now up in LA. Now they're like, wow, this guy. I mean, I'm on the cover of the LA Times.
Oh, you were on the
That's no
cover?
joke.
That doesn't
Wow,
hurt.
that
Yeah,
doesn't
it was
doesn't hurt
that
business.
doesn't hurt at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the entertainment section.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
A picture of me and
Which
this
is all
guy.
that matters in LA.
That didn't hurt. And I happened to be in New York when that happened. I went to visit a friend of mine who, to this day, my sister, one of the top 5, I would say, best model agents in history. Her name is Nadia Sharif. She was the first one who ever opened a men's agency. He had Men New York. And she was so graceful to me and so gracious and she's my sister. She gave me her entire agency. She pretty much gave me all her men. She said, you can represent all my men in New York, and I'm going to, whoever you want to have me represent in New York, let's do this. You have a great eye. So now I'm becoming, more and more known in the world of male models because all these agencies are like, hey, who are these guys this guy is finding? Which, again, I'm alluding to something. I've been successful with having a lot of great men in my agency and as I said, some of the most iconic faces ever in this industry. And how funny is it that it hit me at 60? Someone asked me, like, what's the secret? Like, what's been the secret of your success? Like, how do you have that eye? How did you develop that eye? Because you got to think about this. I'm a Latino guy. I'm from Panama. I came here when I was 19 years old. Didn't speak any English. I ended up in this industry called fashion modeling.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't work where I came from. I used to swim. That's all I did my whole life. Fashion to me was what Speedo Jansen was sending me for my next meet because I swim for the national team of Panama. All I did was swim. That's it. I live a block away from the swimming facility. I didn't do anything. I never kissed a girl. I never fashion. I probably had one pair of jeans, a pair of pants. I think once I got a pair of Converse, I wore flip flops in the towel. So I'm straight. I come from a very macho, driven country.
Yeah.
Latinos are very machista. So here it is. I represent men. I'm like men, like chicks. Why am I messing with people? What I was like, dude, how come you represent men and not chicks? And it hit me at 60.
It's okay. It hit you when it hit you.
I never represented anyone I didn't want to hang out with. That's all it is. It was. And what it always has been is how come these guys became successful? Again, it always happened with me organically. Why they became successful and why so many men is because I just figured it out. I always feel, and still do, there's a photographer right now in the world that believes either one of you two, is the most amazing guy they ever saw in their life. It's about taste. That's all it is. It's about taste. What are you into? I'm going to show you variations of what you're into. Hopefully you'll like one. That means you'll buy. Mm-hmm. That's what I did. But I did it organically. It never was, and I still do it. I do it every week, every year of my life. I still do. I never look at it like, oh, let me take this model on because I'm going to do this and that and that. No, it's something in my brain starts pairing a person up with a shooter. Always. I look at everything as a picture. That's what I say. Faces is what motivates me. It's what gives me all this energy because I'm always pairing up. This is horrible. This is horrible what I'm about to say, but it's my reality. I look at everyone and I see a picture.
Why is that horrible?
Because I see the better version of what you don't know in my eye.
That's like
I
a
look
superpower.
at you and I say, I can make you better physically. I'm not talking about all the
Right.
internal shit.
Yeah, you're
I'm
talking
talking
about the
physically.
physical representation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I can give you a you that you didn't even know you had. And you're
Can
gonna
I
go,
get that me?
Let's go. Like, where do we sign up for the Omar plan?
Where
I
do I get the
swear to God.
Omar me?
Yeah, no, Rodney, by the way, don't you ever dye your hair blonde again on the tip. Never do that again. Unless somebody's paying you, it ain't sexy. It was
Dye hair
cool.
blonde at the tip.
You had some blonde tip, or was that a picture mistake
I don't know. Where'd you see that?
on your Instagram?
No, I don't have any blonde tips.
Never.
Really?
Never.
Never.
Okay, I could have
I've
sworn I
never
saw
dyed
a
my
pic-
hair. You
Okay,
might
good.
saw you might have saw gray.
No, there's no gray in you. Come on, you're too young for that. I never represented anyone I really didn't want to be friends with, and I always saw an opportunity between that face and a shooter. And I am extremely blessed in my life that I have become friends with some of the greatest shooters of the past 30 years.
I want to ask because like I got like 20 questions
Yeah.
from everything you just said. That like, but I want Keith to get his first, and then I want to
Well,
go because go Keith.
You had no background in fashion, no desire. You swam. Like, this is just what it is. You're from Panama, and who would have thought in your mind? And
Yeah.
you see it all the time. It's about opportunity meets what you may not know you care about.
Yeah.
And then you find what you care about, and it doesn't matter your experience, your background. It doesn't matter how much training you've had. Most of the time, it's that passion and that alignment that says, this just makes sense to me. Some people, it just makes sense that physics works. Like, I get physics, but it doesn't make sense to me half the time, right? Or whatever it may be. And finding that, I think, is an amazing thing. And I have to, you talk about being a Latino man in that machismo, that background. Like, how then have you just immersed into it this idea of looking at another man and saying he's like being comfortable with like, hey, that's a good looking man, and I'm gonna do something for that man, like, because our culture,
Amazing.
like,
I think this
so
feeds into my comment. Interestingly enough, because Omar, talking to you, this is the third time I've talked to you, probably some total of 35 minutes leading up to this. What is crystal clear about you to me is that you are you, and you are very clear about who you are.
I love it.
And I'm wondering how, like, when did that, have you always been that crystal clear? Like, was it 19? Was it when you came here? Like, because it seems like you're so clear about you that you're just hanging out with these dudes. Like, oh yeah, they are good looking dudes. Yep, they could be models. Y'all want to be models? All right, let's do this. Like, that's kind of what it seems like from this angle. But like, how do you think about that?
One night changed my entire life and made me see this industry that I'm in, the fashion entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And that was a night in New York City in 1978.
Studio 54, right?
Studio 54. I ended up there. I had zero knowledge of this place. I'd seen the place 2-3 days ago before that night.
But I'm sorry, real quick. I'm sorry, I just want to ask this. So you came here when you were 19. How long did it take you to learn English?
I spoke enough to defend myself pretty good with a really bad accent.
Yeah. Okay.
Really bad Panamanian accent. But I'd say by the time I was, by about with 8 months to a year, I was good.
You were
because
good.
I went to school, so I got it pretty down. I still don't, but I do my best.
Guess what? I don't, and I've been here. This is my first language, so.
I think in Spanish, so it's very difficult for me. Everything I say, it gets processed in languages before it gets out to English. English could be such a limited language. You don't have that many words. Think you do, but you don't. But
We don't.
that night changed my life because you got these two kids from Panama, me and my friend Ricky Ricardo, and we just came out of this theater and we looked to the left and we like, oh, if you look to your left it's Central Park, you look to your right it's Times Square. And we just saw all these limousines coming out of 54th Street and we're like, whoa, I love those limos. Like, let's go and see if we see, who's coming out of those limos. But as we turned, we saw all these people, literally about 200 people outside of this place, blocking the street where those limos are coming from. And we're like, oh, and we saw the big 54, and he goes, Pete, that's the place we saw in the news 2 days ago, like where famous people go. And I'm like, let's walk down and see if we see famous people outside. And the owner, Steve Rubel, God rest his soul, Steve used to stand on top of a fire hydrant and just point at people. Like he created the Velvet Rope. And Matthew, who was, the doorman at the time, he was the first guy who played Daniel in the original Dynasty, the son. He was the first doorman at the studio, then became Mark Bennett, who one of my dearest friends who
I
loved
didn't
that
know
man
that.
death. Then Mark Bennett became the face, of the door. So Steve will point out, and Steve had this remarkable ability to stare at someone and stare right through them. You're standing there freezing your butt. Can I get in?
And he doesn't
And
see
Steve,
you.
oh, you don't exist.
Yeah.
Or say, I don't like your shoes. Get away. No, she's ugly. No, get another one. I mean, he was rude like that. And he goes, those two. And I'm like, me? Are you coming or are you staying? I'm like, yeah, we're coming. And he gave us tickets. And mind you, those times studio was like $20 to get in. 1970s, and
Oh, it's a
1,200
good
people
cover.
fit
Yeah.
in this. 1,200 people fit in this place.
Yeah.
And Ricky and I are walking through that mezzanine. We felt like, it's like walking through you're talking about like the red carpet Oscar. You in Studio 54. This is the number one biggest, most important nightclub in the world. And here it is, this two kids from Panama walking through. So we want to go to the bathroom to count our money, to see how much money we had. $8.
$8. Yeah.
We live in Brooklyn. We had $8.
Yeah.
And we go to the bathroom, and there's a problem because, oh shit, we went to the wrong bathroom. Two girls came out of a stall. So we go, oh shit, it's probably the other one. But when we go to the other one, there's two guys in there kissing. Whoa! I've never seen this. I'm 19 years old. I've never seen two men kissing.
Yeah.
We're like,
Especially
whoa,
in
whoa,
75. Yeah.
what is going on? Yo, whoa! So we left. We like through the bathrooms, right? And we just went right there on the low. We got $8, so we figured we'll get one drink, 2 cups, bunch of ice, split it up. After that's done, fucking fill it up with water. So
Right.
exactly what we did. But as we came down from the bathroom, the first table on the left, the Studio 54, was the table. I mean, they were all the tables. But this table, for some reason, caught my attention. Because I've never seen people like this in my life. Like, who are these humans? Like, what is going on here? Who's this little short guy with crazy, like, dyed white hair, shorter, with a suit on, with no tie and a camera, and he looks kind of, I don't know, he looks fragile. It's Andy Warhol. Well, I don't know this. Who is that man standing there with this so elegant? He looks like a movie star, like in this white jacket and black turtleneck, and he smokes these long cigarettes. Funny enough, that's what I smoke now. He smokes these long cigarettes, like, wow, well, he used to smoke like this, and it's Halston. But I don't know this. Well, there's Calvin there, and there's all these guys, all these people, but I don't know who these people are, right? Bang, I turn to the dance floor, and everyone is staring. There's not that many black people in there. There's probably like 10 at the time that I could recall.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about this.
Black dude, here it is. I'm a straight dude. Why am I looking at some brother? I'm looking at this dude because I'm going, who the hell is this dude? He has like 4 chicks he's dancing with. This dude is controlling, right? And he's wearing no shirt. He's ripped. 6'3", possibly, beautifully fitted black leather pants with a big Elsa Peretti buckle. The leathers hanging out, black cowboy boots, and he had this beautiful white fur coat. I've never seen this. Beautiful face. He's a good-looking man, and his name is Sterling St. John, the son of famous actor Raymond St. John.
Yeah.
And he's twirling these women on the dance floor. And little did I know, one is Bianca Jagger, the other one is Liza Minnelli, but I don't know who they are, right? And he takes his fur coat off and he throws it to the side. People used to do that at studio. We all did. Take your jacket off and just throw it on the side, whatever. If you find it, you find it. If you don't, who cares? And he throws it at this black dude. And the black dude looks exactly like the character Bucky from The Little Rascals.
Yeah.
This guy's wearing like army fatigue pants rolled up, paint all over them, big jacket, fucked up. I mean, like a jeans shirt under with a like thermal and these fucked up combat boots. His name is Jean-Michel Basquiat, but I don't know this guy. I'm just fascinated. Like, how did they let that guy in? Like, is this human? And as I'm walking through the crowd, some dude grabs me, turns me around, and goes, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." Dude, I'm about to punch this dude, right? I go, and Ricardo, Ricky holds my hand. He's like, "B, chill out, dude. Chill out." He gets the dude. This dude, like, he just talked to me like I was a female, dude. Like, what was that about? And he's like, "Dude, if we gotta get into this world, like, you gotta like have a clear vision of who people are." And that's how far back I learned about acceptance. Accept people for who they are. Love people.
Real quick, like how? So what changed? So you had that moment of, I'm gonna hit this guy, who's, I don't know what's about to happen. Like,
Right.
how did that change? And ultimately, to Rodney's point,
Boy-
you're just
your boy
comfort
grabs
with that
you.
sexuality.
Yeah.
Like you.
What that night introduced me to variety.
Mm.
Things for what they are, accepting people for who they are. What they do has nothing to do with what I'm about or my belief. So I have had an amazing, and still do, incredible friendship, brotherhood, camaraderie, love, and respect in the homosexual community. Because I don't see them as that. I see, everybody's the same to me.
Where does that come from for you? Like, I mean, you saw variety. It wasn't what you knew. It wasn't who you were, but you were just
Right.
like, oh, this exists, and this is
Yeah.
cool. This is different.
Yeah.
Like, is that mom? You talked about mom for a second. Like, is that where that came? Where does that come from for you?
And it came, actually, my mother was, God, my mother was an incredible woman. My mother was the most honest person I ever met in my life, beyond honesty. And my mother loved everyone. She had zero beef with anyone. If she had beef, anybody had beef with her, she will try to fix it, and it will bother her if she couldn't fix it. Funny enough, I'm the same way.
You take
I'm
you got
exactly like my mother. I'm the kind of guy that I'll hurt before I let you hurt. Like, I could handle.
So
You
did
may not be
so
able
your
to
mom being that way, and then getting the social conditioning, the machismo, and then that moment, and then your buddy saying, "Hold up, like maybe you got to see things for what they are," and you back. Did that kind of revert you back to like, wait, like I can accept everybody, or like how? Like it seems like that's kind of the narrative that's weaving right here.
It did. It allowed me to appreciate people as people and appreciate vibe. I'm all about vibes. If your vibe is cool, oh my God, we're vibing. And it's not all about sex. Sometimes it's just about a laugh. Let's have a laugh. Some of my best, closest mates are gay. And they're funny as shit. And they're fun as shit. And they know it's never going to happen with me. They know it. That, listen, I know me. I know. I know. And there's two things in life I really don't think it's ever going to take. I don't eat avocado. I bloody hate avocado.
I'm not a fan
And,
either.
and I'm never going to be sexually involved with a man. That's never going to happen. It's not. It's that a time I can say never. That I can guarantee you. It's not going to happen. It's not what turns me on.
At
It's
62,
not how
I think you got a track record to have a good
Yeah.
basis for
Yeah,
that claim.
at
You know?
62, you kind of know what you like. But,
Yeah,
I love, when it comes to sexual relation, I love women. That's
Yeah.
all there is.
How long have you been able to say I know me, like you just said it?
It took me till I was 60.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but yeah, it
No.
took me to 60.
No, it's,
Because you know what? The question possibly never came up. How long it took you to know who you were? And probably never came up till I was like in my 60s. Also the fact that as I said, I've always been the same guy, but I've never analyzed
mm-hmm.
me. I never analyzed me in the sense of my life and my trajectory and things that I've gone through and the things that have happened in my life. I have this incredible philosophy. I don't know. I think I made it up. I don't know if anybody thinks about this, but I do. I look at life as a 100 meters hurdle race. Life to me is 100 meters hurdle race. There's 10 hurdles to go through, right? From 1 to 10. 10 hurdles. 0 is the start. That's when you were born. Okay, you're born at 0. Boom, here you are. This race called life. One of the things and advice that I give to my young talent and to anyone who cares to listen to is the hurdles in life are your trials and tribulations. Just like a 100 meters hurdles race, there's only 3 ways to go to your finish, to the goal. And that is go jump over them, go around them, or knock them down. Or then there are those people, you hear the expression, oh, he always gets in his way. Those are the ones who go the hard way and they go under.
Mm.
They dig their way through the finish line. I always say to people, think of where you are in your life. That's why I said the word vision. Think of where you are in this 100 meters race and how can you see your goal? If you can see your goal, where are you at 20, at 30, at 40, at 50? But because there's trials and tribulations, you have to not go, whatever it is you have to go through. Life throws you curveballs. Life is like a bloody boxing match. And I'll get into that later. Boxing match that life is always going to throw punches. It's how you take it. You could take him, you could duck him, you could throw back, knock him out, That's life. So with me, I learned that I've lived that. I've lived that 100. I'm right now in my life where I see my life. I'm at 95. I really believe so because I'm almost touching my goal. My utopia, I'm literally like, oh, you fuck, get over here. Like, it's almost there. I see it. I've been seeing it for a while. So I'm good. And I think people should have that type of vision. Like, have a vision of where do you want to go, and where you want to go, just get there. Get there. Stop looking at it. Just get there because it's there. If you see it, if you don't see it, you're fucked. You have to see it. If you don't see it, then you just wow. What are you doing? You just existing.
It's interesting in your analogies.
If you don't,
and Rodney, you can ask your question. I'd just make a comment. At no point, and I'm fascinated by this, at no point did you say in the 100-meter hurdles, fall and stay there and not finish the race.
Hell no.
And at no point did you say in the boxing analogy, get knocked out. Like,
no.
The mentality I take then, like that's never an option for you. or for anybody you would
No,
hang out with. Yeah,
no outside
I love
stores
that.
is going to knock me out.
Yeah, it
Only
shouldn't be
one
an
person
option.
could knock me out.
Not an option.
Me.
Yeah,
The only person going to knock me out is me.
just not getting up.
You're not knocking me out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Yeah, you kidding me? With the shit that I've gone through my entire life.
yeah.
Come on, I came to this country. I was an illegal alien. I had to learn how to survive.
How did you get
I
here?
came here for a 2-week vacation, and I stayed here 11 years before I even went back. I came here for vacation in bloody Orlando, Florida, guys. I was supposed to come here for 10 days and go back to Panama. Simple. I was gonna possibly, I don't know what I was gonna do, but I had no intention of staying here. Next thing I know, I'm here. I don't want to go back. So I stayed. I went to school and I worked under the table and till I was able to get a passport through my brother, who was the most genius brain I ever knew in my life. And my brother got me a passport that I could travel, but I never went back to Panama. I never went back for 11 years. I said, I'm not.
Oh, you never
Yeah.
gone.
So
Oh, you,
when I left, I didn't go back for 11 years. I said, I'm not going to go back till I have something
Mm.
to talk about. And
Yeah.
I know
Mm.
how my people are. And I see a lot of people that go to Panama a lot from the States, and they act like, wow, they're like, because it's a third world country at the time, and we're looking at these people that live in the States. We used to call the States the world, especially New York, like, the world. Dude, he just came from the world. Like, wow, check out his shoes, check out, this flag and all that. So, I figure if I ever go back to Panama, I'm gonna go back as what I feel I'm a success, where I'm
Mm.
cool.
Did you fear, like, was your thought if you go back you would get trapped in to that and not
No,
pursue
never,
what
never,
you what
never,
you were?
never, no, never. It never, no, not at all. I never thought of that. I got hooked. Let me tell you that
Mm.
one night at Studio 54, that was a wrap for me.
Yeah.
The old Omar
Yeah.
died that night. That kid from Panama died that night.
So
Trust me.
with that, like you said, you realized at 60, the epiphany that you have been the same person. Like, what does that mean? And where are those? I mean, you had a kid, but when you went to Studio 54, that changed everything you were up to that point.
Mhm.
And then you had, so what does that mean to you that you are the same person since you were then, now that you've reflected on it?
Being comfortable with who you are as a person, being comfortable really who you are as a person and liking your life. At this stage, I say to people, what am I grateful for? I always say, waking up. That's it. I wake up. It's a good day. Let's go. Because this thing called tomorrow, I'm sorry, guys, but bad news, and your bad news is a reality. It ain't promised. None of us. No one has that. No. It is so
Yeah.
unfair. I've thought about this a few months ago, that we all have our beginning day, our birthday we get to celebrate. Why can't we celebrate our exit? We don't know it. That's so unfair. We know the beginning,
Mm.
but we don't know the exit. Therefore, every day make that exit a good one. Live it to the fullest.
Mm.
Love, respect. If you don't go, you don't know how you're gonna go out. So just go out with a high head and knowing that you were a good person, you did good, and you did the best that you could do for you. Do you. Be happy with who you are. Work wise. I always tell people, in retrospect, I think about my career. It's never been work.
Mm-hmm.
How could you call that work? I woke up to go to this place where I saw these great humans, whether it's 11 employees or whatever amount of employees we had. I think at one time we had about 74 employees within all offices. And it was just these places that you go to and hang out with these great people that you know. You share lives together. You create these great relationships with your models. You know, at one point, I think I had over 800 clients in my agency.
Wow.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Then you think of the evolution of those people, you know, 80s, 90s. Now they have offspring. How funny is it today? 4 of my kids that I represent are offsprings of ex-models of mine.
Wow.
It's like the full circle thing.
Yeah.
But it's because it never worked. They know how I handle their careers.
Yeah.
It was always just a lifestyle. It's something that I didn't go to work. No, this is a place I went to. Like people go to the gym or they go to coffee or whatever. This is a place I went to every day, my office, and had a great time. I always did. Today, I still do. I wake up and I'm so excited about the day. And let's create situations. Let's merge situations. Let's link situations. That's where I am now in my company, Just Omar. And it's so much fun to do that. But I'm comfortable with what I'm doing in my life now. Everything is, I have a 1 degree of separation for anything I really want to do. I really do. You know, everything is possible. For what I need, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm through the word content. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You basically extended out. You realized when you got that call, like, these aren't models, these are my friends. They can be models, and then you just put that turned into your life. Like,
That's it.
hey, and you said it like you only worked with people, you only had clients that you wanted to
Still
hang out
do.
with. So that kind of mean, like, to me, that says a lot, because it's like you weren't changing you weren't trying to sell, or you weren't trying to be something in order to land, you know, whomever, to get them into your portfolio. You were being you, and the people that naturally vibed and connected with you ended up becoming these amazing clients that you had.
Last year I was working on a project which I will still put out a meeting about that this week, and it's possibly a docuseries, a documentary. It's something I'm very passionate about right now that I would really like to see come to fruition, and that is, how does the magic work? How have you done this? A model of mine sent me a tape on my birthday last year. His name is John Dennis. I love JD, and he said to me, "Yo, man, I just wanted to let you know, man, how much I love you, man. You know, like you saw something in me that I didn't even know I had, like be a model, you know." And he said, "I think your gift, Omar, is the gift of giving." That kind of blew me away. He said, "Your gift is the gift of giving, because you're always giving to people. You're so giving in terms of knowledge, whether it's material or spiritually or knowledge, just dropping knowledge. You're so giving, and so many people have screwed you over. I get that. On the financial part of my life, many dirty deals have happened where people have taken, you call it taking advantage of, or things happen in life. That's normal in life.
Mhm.
I mean, hello, I live
Yeah.
in fucking Hollywood. You kidding me? This is the place that deals. That's why we live here. You know, we live here because this place is a big giant carrot, and we're all trying to get a bite out of it because it's just in your face 24/7. You always want those things that you're looking at because they're in your face.
Yeah.
You know, your car that used to take you when you came here, you wanted a nice car to just get around. But 6 months go by, that car is no good anymore. Now you want to step it up because now you want to look better. See? And how that look thing becomes a big part. Look better. The both cars take you to where you need to get to, but no, it has to be prettier. It has to be cooler or more expensive. And your little 1 bedroom apartment ain't gonna cut it anymore. You need the house in the hills, and the house in the hills, you really do need a pool. It would be nice if you had a pool. And so you always want because of this town, the visual of this town. It makes you want more. I'm so happy I graduated from that as well. I'm good where I am. I have minimized my life. I don't need all that extra.
Yeah.
I'm good. I got enough extra activity outside of my house that I'm good.
Yeah.
So that's one of the problems when people come to this town, that their visuals are it gets them out of focus of what they really want to do, the core of what they want to do, because of the visual. People, that's where the question comes in front. You rented that.
Do you think that's just this town, or is that just people and the visuals everywhere? I mean, especially now with the fact that this town essentially lives everywhere because social media,
Yes,
because of
but
TV.
you know what? Yeah, people say, "Oh yeah, you can see that everywhere." Of course you see that everywhere, except one thing. Fucker, you're not in Hollywood. Thank you. I don't care what you talk. Yeah, Paris is beautiful. Milan is beautiful. Spain is beautiful. Every place is beautiful. This is Hollywood. This is where movies are made. This is where movie stars live. This is the stuff that everyone dreamt of when they were kids. Whatever you're into, entertainment related. Hello, Hollywood. So, I tell people, don't compare anything to Hollywood, but this is another piece. This is a beast of a place. This is the only place I know, okay? And I lived everywhere, especially in New York. I lived in New York for 17 years. This is the only place I think in my lifetime that you could go from zero to hero overnight. This place called LA. That's why we're here. That's why people are here. That's why people come here.
Yeah.
Because yes, you do hear about that person walking down the street and got scouted by someone. Boom. It's the only place, zero to hero.
Yeah.
You go zero to hero. I remember when I met Tyrese. I think the first job I got Tyrese was Tommy Hilfiger campaign. Boom.
On the
Zero. Boom. Now he's a big model.
First campaign.
I think I got him Skechers before, but it wasn't a big campaign. It was something locally LA, because Skechers was like the LA client.
Yeah.
But
right.
Yeah, I got Tyrese and big money too. Boom, out the gate. The face of Tommy Hilfiger. And then we went on and do other things. But so many, Jaimin Huntsman, Academy Award nominee, one of my dearest friends till today. I believe I have a great story to tell you guys. And that's the whole diversity thing comes from Jaimin. I don't know if Jaimin knows this. I think I have spoken to him about it. But when I was introduced to Jaimin was through designer Thierry Mugler in Paris. And he used to always send me pictures of him. He showed me pictures of Jaimin. And I really didn't know what to do with the human. This is the time where black men are not too bald-headed with big, big lips and big noses and jet black, jet black blue. I'm talking.
Right.
Jaimin is black.
Dark.
Yeah. With really African features. That did not exist in fashion. Jaimin came to see me without an appointment, just so you know. This is how I met Jaimin Huntsman in person. He walked into my office and threw his portfolio on my desk. Stood in front of me. Okay, have you ever seen any of his movies when he has that rage? He's quite scary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This man stood in front of me.
He's a big fella.
I am a black man. He said to me, I am a black man just like you. Why don't you want to help me? Oh, I'm like, damn, I have a seat, man. I don't want to sit. I said, nah, dude, come on, man. Just sit and let's talk about this, And
so he brings that same fire every day.
So he's an intense guy. And I go, dude, I'm trying to explain to him what's going on in terms of the client. I'm trying to calm this brother. Of course, I'm looking at my desk. What do I have? Who's in the house that got my back and this stuff to speak to me? We're gonna get into it, brother, because that's what I'm no punk. So, I said, here he goes. faces. It hit me. I go, wait a minute, dude, sit tight. And I get on the phone. I was always known for having two phones. I always had two phones on my go, and I call Herbert. Yeah, at this point, I'm in with her. And I call Herbert. I said, Herbert, can I come see you right now? He goes,
Just to
oh
get
my
out.
God. He said, I need to go see you right now. I just, oh my God, right now. I'm putting Arnold and Maria. Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
Maria. I'm like, no, Herbert. You have to see me right now. I gotta get this dude out of my office. I gotta get out of here with this dude.
Like, I'm in a
Dude,
situation.
I'm like,
This is for real.
You don't
I
understand.
said, Herb, I have to say, oh, no, I just can't. I call me no matter now. I said, no, Herb, dude, I'm just going to drive by your office with this dude in my Jeep. Just pop your head out the window. That's what I told Herb. I didn't care. I put this dude in my Jeep and we drove to Herbert's studio
Uh-huh.
in my Jeep. I said, fuck this. I'm taking him up.
Uh-huh.
And he and I go upstairs. There's commotion going on, crew,
Maria's there.
stylists,
Yeah.
everybody there is security. And I roll up and Herb happens to be walking by and goes, oh my. I said, Herb, I didn't know how to explain it to you. I didn't know how to explain this. Like, how do you explain this? Hi, I have this African guy I went to see, bald head, completely bald with huge lips, huge nose. And Herb got it immediately.
Yeah.
Herb got it, and Herb, literally a couple days later, Herb shot him for that famous book, which was the cover of his one of the most iconic books of Herb Ritts, which is Diamond with an octopus laying on his head. Gorgeous photograph, one of the most iconic ones. And then I blew him up. And then Diamond just started working. He started doing everything with Herb and all these other iconic photographers that I became friends with. As I said, man, I just became very blessed by shooters.
Mm.
But that, I think, in a later question you would ask me where we're at today. As I said, I am a full believer and lover of the art of making models, making images, creating beautiful art visually. And I think it's something that I guess it still exists at some level. I'm not that much of a huge fan of some of the shooters of today. You have to do a lot more to impress me. Sorry. You want to impress me?
Can I?
Sure. Ask me.
Yeah, I have a question too.
You said you're a fan of making beautiful art, and earlier you mentioned how look is subjective, but you mastered this idea of making iconic models, somebody that can transcend just being attractive or good looking to this one campaign or just like to one set of people. So there's kind of two questions here. The first one is like, what is beauty to you? Like, what is beautiful? What is that? Because one of the things that strikes me about this conversation is that you have an eye. Like you said, faces tell stories to you, and you're always pairing them with shooters and
This
photographers.
question,
Like, what is beauty?
this answer might bite me in the butt. Because I always, okay. Yeah, I have to be comfortable with who I am in my answer. What is beauty to me?
Wait a second. What you just did right there, do you do that a lot?
Like level set on.
So you just had a slight, you had like a slight moment of doubt. Like, I don't know if I want to say this. And then you were like, but I'm me. And you said it out loud. Like, a lot of us have that struggle inside. And we never say it. And then we may not ever.
Yeah. No. Is that,
and we don't get to that moment where, like, I'm me.
That's what it is. It's like, ooh, boom, and I refocus. And then I go, okay, I'm ready. So, beauty. There's that answer that everyone gives you. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I have no problem with that. That's not me.
Mm.
I can't shoot the beholder. I can shoot the face.
Mm.
I can't take a picture of your inside. I can't. I don't know it. I can't see it. Therefore, I need a picture of your outside. So what attracts me in beauty is the outside. This is as I said, this is a horrible answer. But what attracts me is the facial expression, the face, the body, the length, the beauty of creating that incredible photograph, that image that'll stay in your mind. There's certain components that come along with that: bone structures, noses, lips, eyes, hair, neck.
Proportionality.
Proportionality is
Golden ratio.
so. That's
Wait, Omar, you just said that you can't shoot what's on the inside, and you can't. I mean,
It's not visible.
It's not possible. But you said so you got to go with what's on the outside. But you also said earlier you don't have clients that you wouldn't want to hang out with. So in a way, you have kind of found a way of capturing the inner as well. No,
yes.
like you're not just shooting some random person that looks good. Capturing somebody as a client, like just because they look good. Like if you wouldn't want to hang out with them, you're not.
Yeah, no, and
So in a way,
no, I like how you say it. You know those. There's those people that you say. You ever heard that expression? Obviously, that he grew on me or she grew on me.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That happens a lot with me.
Mm.
That I would just, oh wait a minute. Okay, now I get it. Like, remember that when you meet a person, you don't meet them. You meet in their representative. You meet in the person that they think they want you to
right.
be.
Especially in your business, right?
Yeah, you always meet the representative.
That's everybody though. We're always.
So I always say, like, I can't wait to really meet you. Like, to really, really know who you are.
Yeah.
Because the representative looks cool, but let's see who you really are.
Yeah.
And we ease about that vibe. That vibe comes alive, and then it brings the outside. That inside pushes through the outside, and then you get to see the image.
Yeah, and that.
So yes, in the terms of what you're speaking of, yes, that inner beauty translates through a photograph. It enhances the outer beauty, the physical aspect. And that's when I start pairing it up with a shooter in my eyes. Like, oh my God, Steven Meisel would love that face. Or Bruce Weber would love that face. Patrick DeMarchelier would love that face. Look at that girl's body. She's so Jill Simone. So I start pairing it up. That's what I do. And I still do.
That's amazing. Like, I think that is an amazing insight, Rodney, to put that together. That's
sure.
Because it's true, right?
I could tell you were like, I don't know where you're about to go right now.
But with the last minute, I mean, Omar, we could talk for hours, and maybe one day we'll be able to.
Sure, but we like to end with the same question with everybody, and that is, what do you want to leave everybody with?
Hear the music of life. The music of life. There's so many sounds in life. Hear the music and live it and truly enjoy it. I always say, what do I want people to remember me as? I think everybody usually, people who know me, they always say the same thing. Oh my God, Omar, such a good person, and he has such a good vibe. His vibe is always uplifting. I want always to be remembered as someone who's always been uplifting and someone who always wanted the best for you. That's for us, for you. Yeah. If you care to share the us, then I'm good. If you don't, then that's just who you are. Mm-hmm. But that's how I want to be remembered, as someone who shared, and someone who always cared about giving people opportunities if those opportunities are available.